Hey yo, what's going on, guys? It's MRGang here. Welcome back to another toy review by yours truly. And today we have quite the interesting one for review. Let alone we got quite the big one as well. So today, guys, we are taking a look at the Hasbro Beyblade X Drop Attack Battle Set. Yes, so this kind of dropped a little bit randomly a few months ago. And well, I decided, you know what the heck? Let me go ahead and get this set for review. And, oh boy, this is quite the interesting set indeed. So, where do I even begin with this? So first and foremost, we get, of course, for the box here, which is quite large. I mean, way bigger than I thought it was going to be. We got the big old Beyblade X logo up here. And of course, in the center here, we get a beautiful CG render of the two bays we get in this massive set. If I can actually get my zoom to work today. There we go. So you guys can see those two right there on the box. And then, of course, over here, we get the little drop attack caption here. And, of course, down here, we get the drop attack battle set text. And, of course, we get two exclusive bays in this set right here. Impact Drake and Wyvern Hover, yes, which we'll talk more about this guy in a bit, since he is very interesting. But, of course, over here, we do get this nice little caption here, which shows off and includes the two bays right there. You get the two launchers, and you get the brand new stadium here as well. So, and, of course, you get this little caption here, kind of showing off the stadium and everything right there. And, of course, you get the Hasbro and Takara logos right there. And of course, they are in attack and defense types for both bays included. Of course, on this side, we get some more captions here with Ride the Rail, Reach Great Heights, and Get the Drop. And of course, right here, we do get a little teaser for the Hasbro mobile app. Ooh, this box is heavy. All right, on the back, oh boy. Of course, get the Beyblade X logo up here again. And of course, you get a nice caption of everything included in the set. Of course, right here it says, get the drop on your rival's top. Very cool right there. Of course, get the accelerator rail there as well. And then, of course, right here we do get the little part by parts here for each bay included. So, of course, right here we have Impact Drake, which, again, we've already looked at via the Takara version. And then, of course, right here it does say repelling rubber attack, showing Leon Crest getting absolutely annihilated. And, of course, you get all of its parts beautifully displayed right there. And, of course, it is an attack type and a right spin UX bay, because you get two UX bays in this set. And, of course, over here, for the more interesting of the two, we have Wyvern Hover. Yes, it is a defense type, right spin. And, of course, right here we get its gimmick, which is the top-down control. So, very interesting. And of course, you get all of its parts beautifully displayed right here. And of course, it's only compatible with the Beyblade X system, and performance may vary. Very nice. Back here. And then, of course, on this side, we get a little score cheat sheet. So, of course, knockouts or survivors are 1 point. Knockouts are 2 points. Bursts are also 2 points, and you get 3 points for an extreme finish. Now, of course, these are for the more traditional rules, as, of course, for me, I kind of made up my own rules for my own battles. But for those who've seen my Beyblade X Pure Battles video. But with all of that being said, let's go ahead and crack this massive box open, and let's see how cool this set actually is. Alright, so, had to make some room here, but inside of that massive box, we get a whole bunch of stuff. First and foremost, you get, of course, your stadium, just like so, which, on its own, out of the box, doesn't look like much, but of course we'll have to assemble that here in a bit. And then, of course, inside you do get your two bays, which are very nicely packaged, by the way. So Impact Drake over here, and of course you get the clips for the stadium. And then in this package, you get, of course, your Wyvern here with all of its parts. Very nicely packaged as well. Also inside, you do get both of your launchers as well, with their ripcords. And we get this very big sheet here, showing off, of course, if I can actually move the camera a little bit here, how to assemble the bays. And of course on the back you get how to assemble your ripcords, how to use the launchers, how to assemble the stadium, etc, etc. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this stadium assembled. And I'm actually going to do this on camera here, believe it or not. So first and foremost, we need to open up this big plastic piece here. Now let's make sure we get our stadium facing the right way. Like so. And all we need to do now is you take the top and make sure that all of the slots are aligned. So you want this part here to line up with the back, and then you want these two holes to line up with these two holes over here. And once you have that, that's basically your stadium right there. And then of course, once you open up the base over here, we should be able to get the clips. So let's go ahead and grab my box cutter here and quickly get the clips out, which look, if I can actually get them out of the packaging here, a little something, come on, there we go, something like this. So here are your clips, and of course you get 3 of them in this nice purple. So to lock the stadium in, it is very simple. You just take the little slots, make sure that the little prongs are facing down, and then you just gently click them into place. So there's one. Then we go over to this side, excuse me. And then we clip this one in like so. So there's 2. And last but not least on the back, line it up. And there we have 3. And once you've done that, there you have your Drop Attack Stadium fully assembled. It does look quite nice with this sort of blue color we get here. Of course, we do get this very nice plastic rail here with this very interesting sort of texturing here. I'm guessing that's so that the base can actually interact with the stadium properly. And of course, with the nature of this being a drop attack, you guys might notice that unlike the previous stadiums, which we'll take a look at here in a second, you can see that it has these little drops down here. And that is so the base can actually drop and attack each other. Hence the name, Drop Attack Stadium. So should be interesting to see. Can't wait to actually test out the base in here and see how that works. But for now, yeah. Let's go ahead and do a quick jump cut, and let's focus our attentions now on the bays and the launchers. Alright, so now with both bays fully opened up and out of their packaging, let's go ahead and quickly take a look at the little proto launchers you get in this set. And of course, they're nothing really to write home about. If you've seen my previous reviews, yeah, these are the exact same proto launchers you would get in the starters for Hasbro, just recolored black. Nothing really to say about them. Though I will admit it is nice that they are at least straightened out of the packaging. And they work quite well. So there is that. Alright, with those out of the way, let's now of course get into the interesting part. The bays included. And we'll start off, of course, with, I guess, the less interesting of the two, Impact Drake, starting off with its blade. Now, for those who remember back when I did my review on the Takara Tomy version of this, yeah, this one should be about the exact same as the Takara release, just, you know, for the Hasbro fans, this is a nice way to get Impact Drake. For a quick comparison, let me actually grab my TT version over here, so you guys can see how these two look together. But yeah, they're the exact same as the TT version, just now released via Hasbro here. So, pretty darn nice. And of course it does have the clear coat as well for the metal, and the rubber is in excellent condition, of course, as opposed to my Takara version where the rubber's a little worse for wear in some places. Of course, on the back, unlike my Takara version, you do get the QR code here so that way you guys can scan Impact Drake into your Beyblade X mobile app. So, all in all, pretty darn awesome. Definitely go back and watch my original review of this guy for my full thoughts on him. But anyway, next up we get the ratchet here, which of course is 960. Yes, of course. Um, so, yeah, it's about the same as, of course, like the TT version I looked at. Exact same one, just, you know, in better condition as opposed to my Takara one, which is, well, let me just grab my TT version real quick. Yeah, she's a little worse for wear. I don't know if the camera's got to pick it up, but yeah, it is definitely worse for wear. So hey, a newer copy. I appreciate that greatly. For 960 there. And last but not least, we get the bit, which of course is LF, or LR, sorry, or low rush. So, really nice to see this here again. And of course, for comparison, let me grab my TT version. Yeah, they're the exact same, just do Hasbro now. And once you assemble your bay right here, there you have Impact Drake 960 Low Rush. All in all, really solid bay. And for those who who aren't able to get the TT version, hey, Hasbro's got you covered. It's a pretty nice bay right there. Alright, now for the interesting bay in this set. Wyvern Hover. Starting off with its blade, which of course is Wyvern Hover. Now this one is very interesting, as I've been saying. Mostly because, well, first of all, it's not a retool. And second, as far as I know in the anime, this guy has not made an appearance at all. So at least for the toy line, at least for now, this is the UX upgrade to Wyvern Gale. For comparison, here is of course my original Wyvern Gale here. So you can see the difference between these two. But yeah, just so random to see Hasbro do an evolution for a random side character. Just really interesting. We're taking a closer look at Wyvern Hover. We do get a really nice gear chip here with the Wyvern sort of snarling there. And I like how the wing, instead of on the original where it was on the bottom, now it's like over the top, like it's sort of like flapping its wings. Really nice to see. Of course, you get the little Beyblade X logo over here, and we do get the arrow to indicate its spin direction up there as well. And of course, you do get a very nice layer of clear coat on the metal. Now, as we saw in the box, the main gimmick for this is sort of pressure control. So if we take a look at the blade, and take a look at the shaping here, you can see that these blades are supposed to resemble the Wyvern's large wings. And thanks to this shape, similar to other stamina and defense types, the idea is that it's supposed to be able to push down on a bay with its shape and sort of destabilize it with its wings, or these wing-like blades. So a very interesting idea. Really like this design quite a bit. And again, this is just so random to see Hasbro doing an evolution like this, when as far as I know, Takara has no plans on releasing this guy over there. It's very strange. Of course, on the back, we do get the QR code right there, so you can scan in Wyvern Hover, or Hover Wyvern, into your Beyblade X mobile app. All in all, just such an interesting blade. And as far as I know, this guy isn't a retool of anything. He's an original mold by Hasbro. Just very, very strange. Next up, of course, we get the Ratchet here, which is, hold on here, 385. Yes. So for those who've watched my UX10 review, you'll know that, yeah, this is kind of interesting because this originally released with Nightmail, but now we get it again in this very nice dark green color. Just very, very interesting to see it come back. Let alone for Hasbro. And last but certainly not least, we get the bit, which of course is Needle. Now, or Needle. And of course, we've seen this plenty of times by now. But we get it here again in this sort of dark, this weird, like, what do you want to call this? Like a highlighter yellow? Green? It's not really coming off on camera, but yeah, it's like highlighter yellow. Kind of. Just really, really strange color choice there. But once you assemble the bay right here, nice tight click. Nice tight click again. there you have Wyvern Hover or Hover Wyvern 385 Needle. All in all, again, just very, very interesting bay. Curious to see how this guy is going to perform in battle, of course. So, for a quick comparison with Wyvern Hover here, once again, let me quickly grab the original Wyvern Gale. And as you guys can see, yeah, just such an interesting evolution for the Wyvern lineage, I guess you could say now. And of course, Wyvern Gale is definitely smaller than Wyvern Hover, but hopefully the performance is a little bit better since Wyvern Gale was okay, but this could be Wyvern's chance to really be something more and have better performance. I'm hoping, anyway. So with that, that pretty much does it for the overview on these on the bays here. So let's go ahead and do a quick jump cut, and let's do some stadium comparisons, and of course do some battles in the brand new Drop Attack Battle Set Stadium. So I'll see you guys in just a bit. Alright guys, and we're back. Of course I did have to make quite a bit of room here, as before we get into the battles, of course we need to do some stadium comparisons. So real quick, let me just grab the new Drop Attack Stadium, and let me grab some other stadiums I have for comparison. So for our first comparison, let me grab the original Extreme Battle Set Stadium right here. So you guys can see how these two look together. So it's just about the same size, if not slightly smaller, than the Extreme Battle Set Stadium. Which, oh boy, I'm going to need to give that a cleaning after this video, because it is quite filthy. But anyway, so there you have that. For our next comparison, let me grab the Hasbro Bucket Stadium. So you guys can see how those two look together. Of course, the Drop Attack Stadium set is going to be Stadium, excuse me, it's actually quite a bit larger than the Hasbro Bucket, but then again, who really cares about the Hasbro Bucket, right? Because I think we can all agree in the community, this stadium sucks. But for fun, it's not a terrible stadium. It's not very good either. But for our next comparison, let me grab the Double Extreme Battle Set Stadium, which, oh boy, there we go. And of course I gotta grab the motorized component, because that is somewhere in here. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. Okay. So, slide that in here. There we go. So there you have the Double Extreme Battle Set Stadium. So you guys can see how those two look together. Again, about the same size, if not smaller. Just about. Ooh, I want to drop this thing. There we go. And last but certainly not least, for comparison, let me grab the Battle Entry Set C, or just the BX10 Stadium right there for comparison. And once again, just about the same size, if not smaller, at least in terms of the overall footprint. But of course, in terms of the actual arena size, yeah, quite a bit larger compared to Hasbro's, which is a lot more narrow and action focused, of course. So there you have that. And moving my BX10 over there, let's go ahead and do a quick zoom in. There we go. On the new stadium here. And let's go ahead and do some tests in it. Of course, we have off screen our brand new lovely bays here. which I will note for the remainder of the review, I will be using the Takara version, just because I don't want to ruin my brand new Impact Drake, at least for now. And of course, our lovely Wyvern Hover. So of course, let's go ahead and show off both bays in the stadium on their own, and then we can do some proper test battles. After I go ahead and get my collection over here all sorted. There we go. Of course, we'll put these over here. Alright, so let's see what they can do. Starting off, of course, with Impact Drake. And I will be using my winder launcher for... wrong one. Sorry about that. I will be using my winder launcher, of course, for these testings. So let's see what this stadium can do. Ooh, as you can see, that drop attack happens really quick. Let's try that again. So as you can see, the bays do get up the rail just fine. And that drop attack is really aggressive. Jeez. So you have that. And now for Wyvern Hover. And of course, Wyvern Hover is going to be much more passive than Impact Drake. But still, pretty darn interesting in the stadium. I really do like the green when it's spinning, though. It looks really nice. Ow. Alright. So let's go ahead and now do some proper testings. And I think we're going to start out, you know what? Since it was on the box, let me grab Leon Crest. Let's see what it can do against these brand new UX bays. Or I guess one new UX bay and one not so new one. But anyway, you get the idea. Woo! And that was over quick. Jeez. Oh, I actually realized these are like knockout pits in the back. I didn't even realize that. So you got like, what is it? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different areas where you can get knocked out. Jeez. Alright, come on, Impact Drake. Ooh, nice drop attack by Leon. And it's over. Jeez. Alright, one more try, and then we'll move on to Wyvern. Ooh, good hits by Impact Drake. Alright. Come on, Impact. Knock him out of there. Or don't. Dang. Well, at least Leon barely got a win. Barely. So, let's go ahead and put him off to the side. And let's see what Wyvern can do against Leon Crest. Okay, very interesting movement in this stadium. Dang. Leon just destroyed Wyvern Hover. Alright, come on, Wyvern Hover. I know you can do better than that. Come on. Wyvern. Woo! Big hits from Wyvern. Alright, come on. And... nice! Very nice win by Wyvern Hover. Alright, one more time. One more time. Wow, and Wyvern Hover just got absolutely annihilated. Very nice one there by Leon. Jeez. Alright, let's see who else we can put in here. You know what? Wizard Rod. Why not? As much as I hate this guy, let's give him a shot anyway. Maybe they'll actually have a chance against him in the stadium. Maybe. Alright, Impact Drake, come on. Ooh, that was a close knockout by Wyvern. Wyvern. Wizard. Jeez, can't talk today. Alright. Come on. Dang. Alright. Let's go again. Wow! And that was a quick knockout. Ow! By Impact Drake. Alright. Let's go one more time. And then we'll move on to Wyvern. Oh, that was anticlimactic. You know what? Let's do one more time. That was embarrassing. Come on, Impact Drake. Let's give you one more shake. Okay, what was that? Alright, well, Wizard just humbled Impact Drake. Jeez. Alright, let's see if Wyvern Hover can do any better. Let's see. Yeah, this is definitely going to take some getting used to, because I'm not used to these guys just obliterating each other this quickly. But yeah, Wizard Brawl just destroyed Wyvern Hover. Alright, let's go again. Oh, come on! That's just stupid! He barely even touched him! Alright, one more go. One more go. Come on, Wyvern, you can do better than this. Ooh, okay. Good hit. Come on, Wyvern Hover. Come on. Seriously? Okay, well. That went horribly. Alright, let's get one more bay in here. And you know what? How about Shelter Drake? The yellow one. Just because. Apparently the other UX bays are giving these two a run for their money. Well, these two a run for their money. So let's see if maybe Shelter Drake can put up more of a fair fight. Impact Drake, seriously? Alright. Let's go again. Yeah, okay. Seriously? Alright, Impact Drake. One last chance. If you mess this up, I'm sorry, but, like, that's embarrassing. Like, seriously. Woo! And a burst by Impact Drake. Nice. Well, at least for once it actually got a nice finish there. Thankfully. Alright. Let's see if Wyvern Hover can put up a little better of a fight. Instead of just jumping over him. Ooh, and a very nice knockout by Wyvern Hover. Ow. Jeez. Don't, jeez. I actually grabbed him where he actually burst. Alright, hold on. There we go. Alright, let's go again. Well, that sucked. Alright, Wyvern Hover. Let's give you one more chance. One more go around. Come on, Wyvern Hover. Come on. Dang it. Alright. Well, that was surely something. Alright guys, so I think with all of that being said, that's going to pretty much wrap it up for this review on the Drop Attack Battle Set Stadium. All in all, seems like a pretty interesting stadium from Hasbro. Of course, you know, to go over the set as a whole, first and foremost, I think the stadium definitely has an interesting concept. I think it's just more so that I just kind of have to learn how the stadium works and how to properly utilize the stadium. Because yes, the drop attack does work quite well, but it seems like because of how confined the space is, it seems like even the UX bays that we get in the set here are struggling to perform as opposed to in the BX10 or any other stadium where they probably do much, much better. So, and then of course for the actual bays themselves, of course Impact Drake, for those who watch my original review on the Takara Tomy version, yeah, he's still really, really good. Of course, you do get the nice rubber for the impact, and of course the very nice shaping for him. And of course you get 960 and low rush, which all in all is a very, very solid combo for this guy. And for those who don't have the TT version, hey, here's a nice way to get Impact Drake. So, pretty darn nice. As for Wyvern Hover here, I still have, of course, to do more testings with him on my own time. But as it stands, I think he could be a very interesting defense type. It is just interesting to see Wyvern go from a stamina type to a defense type as well. Of course, the shape and everything's just really, really interesting. And I love the green on him too. So, and at least for now, it seems like he's going to be exclusive to this set. So for those who want to get him, yeah, you're going to have to get the whole set just to get this guy. But hopefully at a later point, Takara should re-release this blade. At least I'm hoping. And then 380 and Needle are... it's okay. I mean, if you don't have 380 already, it's a nice way to get it, especially for those who don't want to shell out on the UX10. And of course, for the Needle as well. I mean, it's not the best defense bit in the world, but if you somehow don't have a copy of Needle already, it's a pretty nice way to get the bit as well. So, but with that, guys, if you guys did enjoy this review, then please make sure to drop a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and ring that notification bell so that way you guys get notified for all my uploads. Later, Read Squad, and have a good one.